Liverpool have returned to the top of the Premier League table, and they did so with a dramatic 2-1 victory over Fulham here at Craven Cottage. It was far from a convincing performance from Jurgen Klopp's side. I think you could see the kind of mental and physical toll of what's been a gruelling week on the back of that. You know, the hard-fought win over Burnley at Anfield last weekend, then the heroics away to Bayern Munich in the Champions League in midweek, and then coming here today when, you know, in torrential conditions against a team scrapping for their lives at the bottom end of the Premier League. Liverpool were a million miles away from their fluent best. You know, on paper this was a game that they would have been expected to have won comfortably, but that never really looked likely. It was a really scrappy, disjointed first half. Liverpool making a lot of mistakes in possession, and you know, the opening goal came out of absolutely nowhere really. 26 minutes on the clock, and it was you know, again, Sadio Mane, how important has he been to Liverpool since the turn of the year? Absolutely massive in keeping this pursuit of what is a two-pronged assault on the two biggest prizes in club football well and truly on track. Sadio Mane playing it was a lovely exchange of passes with Roberto Firmino. Mane picking Firmino's run out, then continuing his own dart into the penalty box, and then Firmino having the intelligence and the skill to pick Mane out, and he finished emphatically from about 8 yards out. And that's now 20 goals for the season for Sadio Mane, equaling his tally for the whole of last season, 11 in 11 as well for him. And you know, at a time, especially when, you know, Mo Salah, for him the goals have dried up. Again, Salah today, I think you could see he is just a short of confidence in the final third when those chances drop to him. You know, I'm sure the break that Salah will get now will do him good. You know, he's not going away with Egypt on international duty, and hopefully that'll allow him to get back firing on all cylinders. But certainly, you know, Salah has still been making a contribution in recent weeks. You know, I thought he was good against Bayern, and certainly played his part with Liverpool's goals last weekend against Burnley. But when the chances came his way, he wasn't able to take them. In contrast, Sadio Mane, everything he touches seems to turn to gold at the moment, and that goal energised Liverpool, finally got them going. And they threatened to add to that, had a few other chances before the break, didn't kill Fulham off. And then the second half, you know, Liverpool's control, which is, you know, something we've admired about this Klopp team, that ability, that maturity to boss a game even when they've only been, say, a goal up. It just started to loosen. You know, their grip on proceedings, you know, went by the wayside really, and you could just sense the mood around this place changing. They sensed that there was still something in this game for them. I think you could tell that Klopp wasn't happy on the touchline. You know, Liverpool were making a lot of mistakes. He made a double change. He brought on James Milner. He brought on Divock Origi. But you know, just within a couple of minutes of those changes, Liverpool really shot themselves in the foot. It was a horrible goal to concede, and certainly very much out of keeping with what we've seen defensively from this team so far this season. It was Milner who sliced a clearance that initially put Van Dijk in trouble, but even then, you know, it really should have been dealt with. As it was, Van Dijk, you know, he hesitated, he gestured for Alisson to come and deal with it. Alisson stayed put. In the end, Van Dijk has nodded it back to his keeper. It was a weak header, left it a bit short. Still, I felt that Alisson could have been more proactive in coming for it. He seemed to be slow to react to the danger, and Ryan Babel, the former Anfield man, he stole in, got there ahead of Alisson, and slammed it into the unguarded net. No celebration from Ryan Babel, a touch of class from him explaining afterwards he remains a fan of the club, wants to see them do well, and I think, you know, he didn't join in the wild celebrations around this place. But you know, it was a horrible goal. I think, you know, some people will question whether it was Van Dijk or Alisson mainly to blame. I think for me it was a 50-50 job. I think both of them didn't cover themselves in glory in that moment, but two players who have been absolutely immense for Liverpool in this title challenge, so any criticism of them should certainly be muted, because they're both massively in credit with what they've done for this team so far this season. What was most impressive was Klopp's side showing that their powers of recovery yet again. How many times have we said that? You know, suffering a setback, but rather than wilting, they really rolled their sleeves up, dug in, and then 9 minutes from time they got that dramatic winner. It was a Salah shot that was spilled by Rico in goal. The keeper panicked. He had no real need to grab Mane like he did. Mane went down pretty theatrically, but you'd have to say the keeper was stupid to put his arms on him. And then Milner, absolute nerves of steel to step up and slam home that penalty. It seems that every Liverpool title challenge appears to involve a dramatic win here at Craven Cottage. Back in 2009 it was Yossi Benayoun with the late winner. 5 years ago it was Steven Gerrard's last gasp penalty, and now this title challenge has its own late win at Craven Cottage. So Liverpool 2 points clear now at the top of the Premier League table. Of course City have that game in hand, but it's very much pressure on City now. Liverpool have done their bit, they've taken care of their own business, and now they can enjoy a fortnight looking down on the rest of the Premier League before they play Tottenham at Anfield at the end of the month.